is over. And now KVNU Aggie Game Day continues on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan. A complete recap of all the action of your Utah State Aggies. Phone calls and texts are welcome. Aggie Game Day coverage is sponsored by Cash Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, ChemDry of Northern Utah, Aegis Home Health and Hospice, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cash Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Darrow's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and Golden Spike Electric. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and Eric Branson.
And tonight with Zach Van Leeuwen after the Aggies are bowl eligible with a 35-31 win over the San Jose State Spartans. The Aggies grabbed the lead again with about 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go after San Jose had taken their first lead since they led 6-0. The Aggies get a 9-play drive. Calvin Tyler Jr. on senior night gets his third touchdown of the game. And then Utah State gets the Spartans off the field on fourth down on a great defensive play by Johnny Carter to knock the ball free as the Aggies went all-out blitz on the fourth down. And then Utah State actually later kicks a field goal, but they ran into the kicker. They take the points off. They keep the ball, so San Jose has no more chance with the ball offensively, and they can run out the clock at that point, and they do. So 35-31 is the final score. Some people thought 38-31 was the score, but 35-31 is the final. So as I mentioned tonight, we'd love to have you join with us on our Aggie Call postgame to talk about it. Al Lewis and Eric Franson and Zach Van Leeuwen, the former Utah State wide receiver, joining with us tonight. And Zach, I appreciate you coming down. We'll let you get thawed out in the building. That's one of the colder games that I can remember the Aggies having as far as temperature goes and all. It's 15 right now. Kickoff was about 21 degrees, so it's a cold night up there, wasn't it?
It was freezing cold tonight,
but again,
so
it worked out, though.
Warming up my toes.
But it worked. Tell us about what the atmosphere was like up there. Was it a decent crowd? I mean, people looked like they were bundled up and stuff.
Yeah, decent crowd. I think the true Aggie fans are the ones that showed up tonight to withstand the cold. I've probably seen it a little more filled up in some colder temperature games, but there was still a pretty good showing. The people that were there were loud, and it was a big support and a big win. Big win tonight.
It's a big win. And Cooper Legoff 5-1 now as a starting quarterback for the Aggies. Eric, your thoughts on the game?
Well, what a game by Calvin Tyler Jr. I mean, just solid effort again, running the ball, very solid, 3 times into the end zone. Early on, not big explosive yards from Calvin, but just consistent and just that offensive line getting a push, softening up that San Jose State defense. But then in the end, how about A.J. Carter making the play of the game, stripping the ball, making it tough to make that catch when it was 4th and 2 for San Jose. That really saved the game for the Aggies.
And they made them throw the ball really quickly there because of all-out pressure from Bonda's call on the play for an attack on the blitz and all that. And then Carter had to make the individual play. Now, granted, it might have only been a catch of 4 or 5 yards, and they still had a long ways to go if they would have caught it. But the ball's knocked away, no more doubt at that point. And it was good to get a Johnny Carter back, who we thought might be out for the whole season.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was going to be available. I mean, he's been out because of injury for quite a while, and then he comes out there and he's making plays. That wasn't the only play he made. He made a bunch of plays for the Aggies.
Almost had an interception down in the end zone at that south end.
He made a big impact in the game today, I think. Because there was one, like you pointed out, in the end zone where he turned and made a play on the ball. Could have resulted in a touchdown for San Jose there, but he definitely helped out on the back end in coverage today, so it was huge having him back.
And, again, we went to Cobbs a bunch on some short yardage play. I mean, the Aggies' passing game was not dynamic in any way tonight, but maybe that's the way you have to do it when you get as much pressure. San Jose's number 5 in the nation in sacking the quarterback. And, I mean, Legoff got sacked tonight, but it wasn't a tremendous amount of time. I felt like he had almost a harder time than maybe in Hawaii than he had in this game tonight in some ways.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they pressured him at times, but nothing too dynamic in the passing game. I felt like Cobbs was a little bit more involved in the first half than he was in the second half, but man, when he does get the ball in his hands, he makes plays. He was a big impact player tonight for the Aggies.
And Eric's thoughts on when you get to a senior game, for Calvin Tyler to have what he had. He's close to now 1,000 yards for the year. He ended up with 119 yards tonight, I think it was, or maybe he got closer to 124. Let's see, what's the final stats on him. Here he got 125 yards, 30 carries, 3 touchdowns. His long run was 14. So that is a workman-type game as a running back in this kind of game. And San Jose has not been an easy team to run or pass against. They've been a good defense. They have given up a little bit more the last little while, and the Aggies tonight ended up with a 430-yard game where they got 186 on the ground and 244 in the air. For Utah State to be effective this year in every game they've won, they've had to be balanced for the most part to get it done, and they were that way again tonight.
Yeah, I thought Cooper Legas, there's some things I'm sure he'd like to take back, like that sack on 4th and short, and a couple of those turnovers, those interceptions. But he is looking more and more comfortable in the pocket. He's making throws downfield. He's making hard throws. It's not just easy stuff. But it seems like this coaching staff also opening things up a little bit more for him. I thought we saw more variety tonight that was available to him to spread it around a little bit. And so nice to see him maturing and getting better and better as the season goes on, too.
And the one thing, Zach, this team has really struggled on third down this year in this game. Tonight, in the first quarter, 5 for 5 on third down. They ended up 10 for 17. That was big in this game, and it still converted 2 out of 3 fourth downs. The only one we didn't get was that one towards the end of the game.
Yeah, that's huge. When you can convert third downs and keep it closer to 50%, you're going to extend those drives. Keep your defense off the field, too, especially where we play a fast-paced type of offense. So it's huge when you can get at least 50% of those third downs, and sometimes those result in points. And so the more that they can continue to improve on that, it's going to make the Aggies more of a dangerous team.
Well, the Aggies should now be, at least with this win, bowl eligible, should play 2 more games. Boise State next Friday, and then a bowl game somewhere. So we're hoping. Again, we detailed that before the game. I think there were 36 teams that were playing for like 21 bowl spots among 5-5 and 4-6 teams going into today. And you get to that. Usually you get in a bowl game no matter what. The conference, though, only has 5 guaranteed spots in bowl games, but usually something else opens up.
Well, now this makes 7 bowl-eligible teams in the conference.
Including San Jose.
Yes.
So if it gets down to it and there's a couple teams tied, do they take tie breaks and, does the conference step in and say, hold it, they beat them, they deserve to go or whatever? I don't know how that works. But we don't have to worry about that right now because the Aggies win. Love to hear from you. Again, calls are available at 753-5868, 753-KVNU. Our text line is available, obviously, 435-339-0321. Anybody in the stadium probably can't work the text line for a while because their fingers are going to have to thaw out. But, again, we'll get to you as well if you text in. So, Aggies 35-31 the final. Craig told me 35-30 before the game. Craig's another big winner tonight besides the Aggies winning. Game day on the Fan, and KVNU comes right back.
This is Zach with HSA Depot. Christmas is nearly here. Make sure you be merry and bright by using your pre-tax funds on your medical needs. We know your regular holiday budget is disappearing quick, so instead, save money by using your pre-tax income to buy qualifying medical supplies. HSA Depot carries hundreds of unique and dashing eligible products to help you conquer your healthcare. Come to HSA Depot next to Sally Beauty Supply and see how much you can save this holiday season. HSA Depot, 5-star review.
Clean it up and get it out before the snow flies. Don't wait another winter. Let DD Auto and Salvage pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204 today. See store for details.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Humana is offering Medicare Advantage plans in our area. Come learn about Humana's benefits for 2023 at our free seminar. Call 752-9493 for details or go to our website, lssins.com, for a meeting schedule. If you were happy with Humana in the past, you are going to want to see their benefits now. Call 752-9493. For accommodations of persons with special needs at meetings, please call 752-9493.
Advanced Heating and AC, the 2-time gold medal winner in Best in Northern Utah. They're teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you the best furnace units available, and now's the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, 752-7272, or stop by their showroom west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
Over the last few years, we have expanded the store to create one of the largest engagement selections in northern Utah. In addition to our goldsmith, we now have a design team that creates, casts, and brings to life your one-of-a-kind ring right here in our store, all for one common goal, to make it special for you. If you haven't been in yet, come see what makes us so special.
Jarrett's fine jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarrett's.
Prodigy Brewing has so much appreciation and gratitude for the warm embrace Cache Valley has given us. We want to invite you to join us for Sunday brunch from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our Sunday-only brunch menu features sweet and savory options such as churro French toast, chilaquiles, fried chicken egg sandwich, and a Bloody Mary bar. You also won't want to miss our hash browns. Whether you're out with the family or friends, Prodigy Brewing is the place to be in Cache Valley. Open 7 days a week, located at 25 West Center Street in beautiful downtown Logan.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Alpine Home Medical on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Let me also mention DD Auto and Salvage. They want to help you get it cleaned up and clean out your yard. 787-1204. Call them Monday and get paid top dollar for your junk vehicles from DD Auto and Salvage. And Daryl's Appliance. Remember, when it comes to the names like KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, and a whole lot more, Daryl's Appliance has the best appliances and great service, too, to back it up. 752-9022. They're on the airport road. They're two of our sponsors as the Aggies are bowl eligible. Aggies have now gone 3-0 in November. Remember when they went to November, we said they had to win these games to get to be bowl eligible. They have Boise State left to go. Boise did clinch the number one spot in our conference for the championship game as they beat Wyoming today, 20-17.
What a wild finish in that one.
I mean, that was amazing. It looked like Boise had pulled it out. They fumbled the ball. Wyoming recovered, ran it back, and then they threw an interception when they were in field goal range to at least tie the game. If they tried to, the quarterback, who again is not Andrew Peasley, it was the other guy, Clements, or I think is his name, or Clement, and he threw an interception in the end zone.
Yeah, it was a back and forth wild finish, but Boise State with the victory. So they're 8-3 on the year. Mm-hmm. Wyoming is 7-4. Utah State 6-5. Air Force 8-3. And then on the west side, you got Fresno State at 6-4, San Diego 7-4, and San Jose at 6-4. So that's 7 bowl eligible teams out of the Mountain West right now.
And UNLV, if they beat Hawaii, would still have a chance to get to 6-6. So they would be the only other team that we could have one more team.
That's true.
And the Hawaii, they were ahead at the half, I think it was, or the end of the first quarter against Hawaii. They're playing over in the islands in that one. So Fresno, they were ahead of Nevada, so they'll probably be 7-4 after tonight, I would imagine, because they were leading that game. So, and Utah and Oregon are playing here. It's 20-17. Oregon with the lead. Under 4 minutes to play. Oregon with football against Utah. Both those teams at 8-2, trying to hang in there to be in the Pac-12 championship game. I don't know who won the UCLA-USC game today.
USC won 48-45.
They end up another wild
shootout. UCLA was driving down and then also threw a pick.
Because I knew that there was a chance for UCLA to still be in there with all of that, but they had to win, and USC, now might be the spot that will play one of these teams in the championship game of the Mountain West or the Pac-12 tournament coming up. So,
a couple of texts coming in real quick, Al.
Let's get to that.
And Zach, this one from 9315 saying, "I sure hope we can get Ike Larson a Mountain West championship sometime while he's at USU. He certainly deserves it." I mean, another game and more great, outstanding plays by Ike Larson.
Did he come back much after he went out? I don't think he did.
No, I think after his block punt, he looked pretty hobbled. I know he went in one more series,
and he was on the sideline, and they had to bring him out.
Hobbled back off the field. So I'm not sure what happened.
3 block kicks. What did he have in high school? At least 14 or 16 block kicks or something like that. I think it was.
He had a lot. So I think you might have mentioned on the radio, or someone just said he was like third in the country with the 2, and now with this third one, I'd be curious to see where he's at now.
Because remember, I told him before the game, I'd ask him, after you block those 2, he says, now that the guys at Hawaii told him, we for sure were supposed to find you on every single punt play, and I'm sure the same goes for any special teams.
Not.
They didn't find him as he came up through the middle. He told me, he says, since he blocked those 2, he's had a hard time getting there. So he got there tonight, and boy, it was close. The other guy on the other side, Royals, I think it was, came on the other side, and he got close to it too. And the question there, I think the officials looked at the review more for it got tipped. The guy who tips it can run into the punter, but if the other guy doesn't hit the ball, supposedly he can't wipe him out. Now, I didn't know that was the rule, but they were talking about that, and it was close to where Royal does come in and go after, hit the kicker, but then goes right to Smith for a punt return of about 50-some-odd yards, 56 yards,
56
I think it was.
yards to the house.
Yeah, that was huge.
Okay,
so I think we've answered this next question from 8387. Just awesome win. Glad they played to win and took it. And then any update on Ike? I think we've kind of answered that. 6543 texting in saying the hype said that San Jose State was really good. Excuse me. But in checking their record, they've only beat one good team all year, which was Wyoming. It's nice that both teams can have easy schedules that get them bowl games, but doesn't generate much excitement when the competition is so average. No championship this year, which is disappointing. Decisions made in the first few games doomed the championship chance this year.
Well, the one right now that you'd like to have back and still have a chance to play Boise with it would be the UNLV game.
Yeah.
If you beat UNLV, then you could go into Boise and have a chance to beat them maybe head-to-head and have a chance, that kind of thing, if you only had the one conference loss rather than the 2, like we have up until now. So,
yeah, that's true. I mean, the 6 turnovers in that game, it was clear that Logan Bonner was not right, and it's really too bad. But way that the season started and how they're finishing, really impressive.
We overcame 3 turnovers to win the game tonight.
Yeah,
you don't do that very often.
You don't. Usually you don't win ball games with that many turnovers. But again, we made that play on special teams. Defense came up with some big plays, and then we made plays when it counted. So I think that speaks bounds to kind of the culture and the teams that Coach Anderson is creating, being able to win and pull out those close games like they did last year. They've done that a few times this year as well.
They did. And the Cordero guy, they got after him, but he also was kind of a dangerous guy moving around and stuff. You can see where he's had the kind of year he has had. That Cooks is a really good receiver for them. The guy that Johnny Carter made the play on AJ at the end of the game.
He's very impressive. I mean, his ability to go deep, he's long. That's a tough receiver to cover for our corners that are more typically they're shorter. So.
Corners usually are.
We were talking about a great game from Calvin Tyler, 125 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. But how about Cobbs? I mean, he just made great catch after great catch today. 122 yards for him. Unfortunately, he didn't find the end zone, but he was a solid option for Cooper Legas all night long, and kept a lot of drives alive, just being available and making tough contested catches.
He sure did. Really, really good stuff for sure tonight. So the Aggies win at 35-31. Love to hear from you again with the text line, 339-0321, the phone line, 753-5868. Zach Van Leeuwen, former Aggie receiver with me and Eric France tonight as the Aggies win. Game day brought to you in part by the Elements Restaurant at Riverwoods Conference Center. A great spot for Thanksgiving. Make sure you make your reservations right off the bat on Monday, and also for all of your holiday parties. Again, the Riverwoods Conference Center available for you. Back in just a moment.
Aegis Home Health and Hospice loves helping the people they serve. Aegis is a home health and hospice organization that lives by core values of character, experience, and trust. Every day, Aegis' goal is to help you with whatever your healthcare needs are and to do it wherever you need us to. Aegis, A-E-G-I-S. Aegis Home Health and Hospice. Call 723-9000 or find them at myaegis.com.
Nothing compares to the warmth and feel that a wood stove provides. the two-time Best of Northern Utah winning team, says there's never been a better time to replace your old inefficient wood stove and install a new energy-efficient EPA-certified Vermont casting wood product in your home. The U.S. government is offering federal tax credits of 26% on your wood stove install. For Vermont casting units, that includes stoves, venting, and labor. Call or email Advanced Fireplace and Stove for a free in-home estimate. Call 435-752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
Thermo Fisher Scientific is hiring for their manufacturing, distribution, and warehouse team. And that's great news for anyone seeking a rewarding career. Thermo Fisher offers positions across multiple shifts, competitive compensation, health benefits, paid time off, bonuses, and an excellent work environment. Help Thermo Fisher make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Visit jobs.thermofisher.com and search Logan. Thermo Fisher Scientific is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is James with White Pine Funerals. We're excited to host our annual holiday concert featuring a choir and musical ensemble by Jay Richards. All are welcome to attend free of charge. We extend a special invitation to anyone who is missing a loved one this holiday season. Food donations are encouraged at the door for the Cash Food Pantry. Back-to-back performances will take place at White Pine on Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. That's Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. or 8:30 p.m.
It's engagement season. Time to find the perfect ring. S.E. Needham Jewelers is known for beautifully cut diamonds at excellent prices. Guys, the sparkle is what matters most in the diamond you give your sweetheart. Our diamonds stand apart from those of other stores. Come view our diamonds under magnification. Select a diamond that fits your budget and then have it mounted in a ring that she'll love. Remember, you get S.E. Needham quality at internet pricing. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
You have to see it to believe it. The new Three Peaks Medical Plaza is Cache Valley's newest and most up-to-date medical facility. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center are now located in the Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. The entire staff and Drs. Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette look forward to helping you and your family at this state-of-the-art medical facility. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is now located in Providence and Three Peaks Medical Plaza, 2245 North 400 East in North Logan. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. More analysis about today's game and your chance to talk about it. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
3 touchdowns, Calvin Tyler Jr. Cooper Legas did, again, throw for I believe, a high of his career now at 244 yards on 23 out of 35. Did throw 2 interceptions in the game, but the Aggies converted on 10 of 17. Third downs in the game. Aggies had the football for 34 minutes compared to 26 for San Jose, and that's kind of an interesting stat to me, Zach, because you think of us being so fast-paced or trying to play fast-paced offensively, and we don't normally win the time of possession battle like that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's very unusual when you have an up-paced type of offense like we do and to win that time of possession, but I think it's huge because they throw the ball around. We kept the ball out of their playmakers' hands more because we had more time of possession. So, and I think we made it count for us. So,
yeah. And Al, you were observing this earlier in the game that Utah State, on a number of occasions, had to do long drives
to score, but
almost every time it yielded points.
Mm-hmm.
San Jose tried to do what they can to pin the Aggies back, but that they weren't. They weren't slowed down by that by any means.
Yeah, the scoring drives, the last one was 9 plays that ended up the scoring drive. The one before that was 11 plays, the scoring drive there. The other ones, let's see here, we had a 12-play scoring drive, and then we had a 15-play scoring drive. So those were the offensive scoring drives for the 4 touchdowns, and then we got the punt return for the other touchdown in the game. So every one was it's a long drive for us. Remember back a couple of years ago, it was 4 or 5 plays and we'd be in there. We've scored on the second play a couple of games in the last little while of the football game. I tell you, they came right out and got that 6-0 lead, and we blocked the PAT. So our special teams did some stuff with block and kicks tonight, which are huge in this game. And then they intercept the first time when we have the ball. But then our defense, I think, on turnovers, we figured only gave up 3 points tonight on turnovers.
Yeah, being in the stands watching, our defense had a lot of energy. Every time they took the field, they were pumped trying to get the fans into the game. So our defense, I feel like, even though we allowed, would they score 30 points? I think they had a really good game and played with a lot of energy and made plays when we needed it most.
Well, they were 20 of 30 for 257 yards through the air. That little running back got a couple of runs on us in the second half. They ended up with 84 yards. Cordero ran the ball around a lot, but did get sacked enough where he didn't get a lot of rushing yards. But, it was kind of like our passing game kind of added to our running game. It was almost like a little more of a controlled, shorter passing game for us, which did kind of make it kind of like part of the running attack, too.
Yeah, and I think those longer drives were very balanced between run and pass.
Yeah. We were very balanced by play calling at the end of the night. It was almost even, I think.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of those quick passes out, especially the times when we threw on first down as well, it kind of opened up the run. So I think we've been more successful in the run game this year when we've been able to throw the ball a little bit more, too.
Just want to mention Alpine Home Medical. They offer a variety of home medical services and products available, home rental services, Alpine Home Medical, and Prodigy Brewing. Remember, tomorrow is the Sunday brunch at Prodigy Brewing on Center Street in downtown Logan. A great spot for your family to go, the only brew pub in the valley. Anything else on the text line, Eric?
No, it's gotten kind of quiet for all of us.
We're waiting to hear from players and coaches up there after a bowl-eligible Aggie win tonight. That when that comes, it's hot and heavy. So let's get in another break here for our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Again, we always appreciate the sponsors who bring it to you on the Fan, KVNU, our Aggie football postgame game day, and we of course have pregame game day as well. We'll be on, Saturday morning at 8:30 for the game at 10 o'clock. Or I'm sorry, Friday morning at 8:30 for the game on Friday morning at 10. It is national television game on CBS Sports from Boise. Aggies with the win tonight, 35-31 over San Jose State on game day.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. My wife and I were laughing the other day because she read an article about things not to buy online. The first thing was prom dresses. Dresses advertised versus dresses delivered. Needless to say, what people thought they were getting is not what they got. It's much the same with mattresses. Almost always, buying a mattress online ends in buyers being let down. At My Mattress, we try to always exceed expectations. Lower prices than online, and better beds. Only at My Mattress.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
It's game time, and you're in the locker room ready to take the field. But suddenly, you notice a player you don't recognize. He's wearing your team's jersey, and he even knows your name. But you've never seen him before now. Would you trust this stranger with your team's playbook? That's exactly how phishing scams work. And the first quarter of 2022 saw the highest volume of phishing attacks ever recorded. Protect your business with the Les Olson Security Suite from Les Olson IT. Learn more at lesolson.com.
Holiday parties and events at the Riverwoods Conference Center offer a festive and fun holiday atmosphere. Paired with catering from the Elements Restaurant, your special occasion can include tasty hors d'oeuvres, delicious entrees, and decadent desserts that always deliver excellence. Now accepting reservations for the 2022 holiday season, the Riverwoods Conference Center and Elements Restaurant can accommodate you whether your event is large or small. Visit theriverwoods.com or call 750-5151.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Primrose Home Care on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Another comeback win for the Aggies. All but one game this year that they have won. They've had to come from behind to get it. Down 6-0 early. And then Utah State did respond and come back and grab the lead 7-6 right at the end of the first quarter on a great second effort touchdown run of 14 yards by Calvin Tyler. It was the longest drive of the year as the Aggies took it 96 yards on that drive. And then, again, Utah State built the lead to 14-6 after they had a 3-and-out, but they forced San Jose off the field on a 3-and-out once. That's when the sack by Hawley and the sack by Grishik took over. I thought the second quarter is where Utah State's finally, it seems like it takes our defense just a little while to get going in games, and then they finally kind of get going a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, we'd heard that Cordero is prone to getting sacked, and that was true. I mean, the Aggies got 5 sacks tonight, and those were a big part of the game too. Give that defense credit for some of those plays and how they came through. A couple more texts have come through, Al and Zach.
Zach Van Leeuwen with us, and Eric Franson, Al Lewis.
Some 9310 says, seems like Lega was confused on multiple plays, made some poor decisions.
I know there were a couple plays that I noticed where I think there were confusion between several players. I know I recall there was one where Cooper and Lega had a rollout, and McGriff was blocking downfield, and other guys were running routes. So I think there were a few miscommunications. I wouldn't say necessarily there were some misreads. I think some of his picks, he kind of short-armed some of them instead of getting it more out in front of the guy. But I think there were a few miscommunications out there. I know there was one specific one.
It was really weird tonight, and they pointed it out on the television, but it was all of a sudden he'd sometimes go back to throw or roll out to the side, and he's so still standing there, and there was nobody around him a lot of the night at times. And then he was, of course, pressured quite a bit by these guys. San Jose's known for being one of the best sack teams in the nation. So, again, to stay away from as much as maybe we ended up getting, we went after Cordero, and we got him a couple times and stuff, but it was kind of a little interesting deal there, that's for sure. And the one pass he threw to Cobbs when it looked like they were going to, that was a duck. I mean, it was kind of, but
500, dead or alive.
But you know what? That was a big play too. That was a big one to keep that drive going.
9315 says we were really good on fourth down tonight, if I remember correctly.
We were. The only one we didn't get on the fourth down was the one where he got sacked. On the second to last real possession of the game, when at that time they went down and scored and went ahead 31-28 after that. So.
Yeah, I liked seeing the Aggies being aggressive on that 4th and 1 that they had on the 50-yard line, because then they went and scored on that drive after that too. So,
going for the last couple of games, they've been really good on fourth down.
We've been one of the teams that's gone for fourth down more than anybody in the country too.
Yeah. Another quick one before we hit the legal ID here. 6576 heard maybe Hawaii Bowl. Any idea if that would happen?
Well, there's been talk of that right off the bat, and of course our basketball team's over there at the same time. So, and that's kind of happened a little bit before where they've looked at that. The thing is, right now, if you all of a sudden say, I want to go to Hawaii for Christmas, good luck.
It can be pricey.
Pricey, and to find any space,
yeah.
Well, at this date. But again, some people might have made the deal to go back. I know there are some people that are going over there for the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And so then they would at least be there, and hopefully they could find a spot or two somewhere around.
From the athletic department expense consideration, you already made the trip to Hawaii. Are you going to pay to go out there again? Or does it really matter that much when it comes to a bowl game?
I think one thing that the conference deal does do a little bit in the tie-ins is they kind of take the money from all the bowl games and maybe do a little bit with the expenses for some of those kind of things like that for the schools. And then everybody kind of distributes the money from bowl games a little bit equally with the teams that get a little bit more. I think that's the way it works out. I think. So, who knows?
But yeah, I mean, having a bowl game in the same place where the basketball team's going to be there
would be great.
You see a bunch of Aggie stuff in a short amount of time. I mean, there's some appeal to that.
Yeah, there is. And again, so and I guess they play it where they're playing the football right now on about the 10,000 seat place. So it could be, you wouldn't have to have a lot of fans there to fill it up or get close to that.
That's true.
Aggies win. We need to do pause. I'm glad Eric mentioned that for station identification as we hit the midnight hour or into Sunday morning as we continue to do game day with the Aggies winning on the Fan and KVNU. We'll be right back after this.
KVNU Logan, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Al Lewis, Zach Van Leeuwen, and Eric Franson, and you, Aggie fans. And we appreciate Cache Valley Bank always sponsoring our post-game, pre-game, post-game game day. They've been with us from the start. And remember, Cache Valley Bank will, again, understand your needs, craft solutions to fit your situation for business, for individual banking needs as well. We appreciate them being local, but also, again, run like a big bank, but they have local people to make decisions. Aggies 35-31 with the final. We've mentioned some of the big things on the as far as the offensive guys go. Defensively, again, Johnny Carter stands out because he made that play at the end of the game, and it's great to get him back. Ike Larson was there and knocked away one pass early in the game. Again, he did have the injury, but again,
two sacks for Hale.
Hale Motuapoaka was really noticeable in the game tonight. And then Grishik, he has really been a big addition for our defensive team. Last week against Hawaii, we came so close to so many sacks against Hawaii and couldn't quite get him. And tonight they did finally get some on Cordero tonight too. So Grishik's been because really inside defensive line, we don't hardly have anybody left other than about the three guys who can play on the inside right now too.
Yeah, we got a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but our pass rushes hit home. I remember there was a time in the second quarter where San Jose State started with the ball on our own 35-yard line in great position to score. But
it was after we had a penalty or something on the
penalty,
punt. Yeah.
And then they ended up being like 3rd and 27, and then they had to punt, push them out of any type of scoring position. So I think that was a big.
That was Hale first, and then Grishik got the one after that. Then that led to our drive to go up 14-6 as we continue to recap. And then we're up 21-6 as Jaden Smith gets the 56-yard punt return off the deflected punt that was blocked by Ike Larson. So it's 21-6, and then they did score. It was interesting, the review on that one play of the pass catch on the sidelines. You're a receiver, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
That guy for San Jose that led to eventually them scoring on the Cooks touchdown right after Lockhart made that catch. They called Lockhart good on the sidelines with that catch, where I don't know if he had a foot in bounds when he really controlled the football. But the replay, they looked at it and they decided the play on the field was called catch, and they kept it in there. Do you remember that play? It was on the far sideline. It was on their sideline. Now it used to be our sideline. I'm used to the Aggies being over there, going towards the north, and the guy catches it, and he's got 1 foot, and then he goes out of bounds. And they reviewed that one. There was quite a few reviews going on at that time.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had the TV version. They only showed the replay once on the big screen, and it didn't look like he had a foot in, but, I mean, that's all I saw.
He had a foot in, but then I don't think he's really caught the ball.
Possessing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the question for us was that when does he really gain possession of the ball? Because he looked like he initially has his left foot down as the ball comes into his hands, but as he gains possession, he's lifting that foot up, and his right foot is out of bounds. So, but they reviewed it, gave it to him.
I mean, it hits his fingertips when it's on the left, but he never even really catches the ball until finally his right foot hits out of bounds. But it made it 21-13 at the half is in the review, and then they kick a field goal to start the second half after we didn't score, so 21-6, and then we drove that 11 plays, and it ended up being there. We were back to the 19-yard line, so 81 yards, and that was where McGriff caught the play. McGriff got 2 plays in a row, thank goodness, because there were a couple of others tonight maybe he could have made, but he got a 23-yard catch, and then turned out the next one a screenplay, and he used the block and then ran through some guys. That was a pretty good play there.
That was a great play because I think he evaded like 2 tacklers after he got that good block. So he made up for some of those other plays that he left on the field with his touchdown there.
High stepped his way into the end zone after that, and that made it 28-16. Then they came right back and scored to make it 28-21 or 28-23 in the third quarter. We went to the fourth quarter, and again, we're still up. And then Laga got sacked on that play, and then they took over and drove down in 10 plays. And Kanan, their tight end, caught the 1-yard touchdown pass, and they got the 2-point play to go up 31-28. And then we respond in not quite 4 minutes for the winning drive of the game, 9 plays. And a lot of it, Calvin Tyler. I mean, Vaughn caught a 16-yarder. Cobbs caught the 31-yarder on the duck pass that we talked about earlier. But again, it was Tyler, 2, 4, 9, 5, 3, and then 3 for the touchdown. And I'll tell you, they almost tackled the mesh between Cooper and Tyler to get that handoff on.
Yeah, I know. Their pass rush was coming up hard up the field, so I think it was a good play call. It almost looked like Cooper had it almost looked like an RPO call. But with them pursuing so far up the field, he handed it. Ended up,
It's almost like he was enough in the way when he handed it off that he kept the defensive guy from grabbing Calvin until he got down the field just a little bit to get into the end zone.
Throw that defense off just a little bit, just enough. Another quick text that came in. This is from 6740. Laga has a winner mentality. Really felt like he was going to take us down for a winning drive to win, and he sure did.
Well, you were an old Utah County guy. You guys all have that kind of attitude, don't you? From there,
a lot of state championships have been won down there, but he does bring that winner mentality. You've seen it in the bowl game last year, and even the times when he stepped on the field earlier this year. The kid wants to win, and he. There's been a different feel since he took over. So
I have to admit, though, when you talk to him, you get the feel. You don't get that feeling.
No.
He's not outgoing much. He seems to be very laid back, very cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be rattled, and that's maybe a great mentality to have. Because I've asked him, and he's a tremendous competitor. He can't stand to lose anything, obviously, but you just don't feel that from him when you talk to him.
I mean, you don't feel it when you talk to him, but out on the field, he's calm, cool, and collected. I noticed something at the New Mexico game. They were coming back from like a TV timeout. Music's playing. He's just standing there. He's like tapping his foot on the ground to the music, to the beat. I mean, if a quarterback's nervous, he's not going to be doing that. He's locked in.
Maybe that helps everybody to have that kind of attitude, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Another text, 5879. ESPN's FPI only gave us a 39% chance of winning tonight's game.
I thought the game ended up being Aggies by 1 at the end. After it started, you said earlier in the week, San Jose by 2.5.
Yeah, the Vegas odds makers started the week out with giving San Jose State 2.5 points as favorites, but by the end of the week, it had moved to Utah State by 1.
Mm-hmm. And when the kickoff, it was still listed as 1. Yeah. Craig Hislop, again, before the game, on our Aggie Call pregame, he picked 35-30 for the score tonight. So
I'm going to take Craig to Las Vegas.
Yeah, so.
Clairvoyant Craig.
We do have the stuff from the stadium. So we're going to get to the stuff from the stadium, and we'll hear from coach and players, and let's get that coming back as we come out of the break next. And then you can hear that and make more text comments. Call in after you hear the coach and the players, 753 KVNU. Aggies on game day on the Fan and KVNU Win. We're brought to you by Thermo Fisher Scientific, making the world healthier, cleaner, and safer, and advanced fireplace and stove. Again, the new Heat and Glow fireplace, Vermont casting stoves, all available from, again, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, as the Aggies win by 4 and win and get a bowl spot, or at least are bowl eligible now at 6-5.
We're heading into some crazy weather this winter, which means power outages. Tyler and his team at Golden Spike Electric can install a Generac automatic standby generator for your home so you can avoid issues when the power goes out. If you have one already, Golden Spike Electric can maintain your Generac automatic standby generator for you. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac automatic standby generators. Power you can count on.
Winter is upon us, which is the best reason to have a clean and healthy home. This is Darryl with ChemDry of Northern Utah. Let us come and make your carpets, rugs, and upholstery and hardwood as clean as it can be. Platinum certified with the Carpet and Rug Institute and Indoor Air Quality Association. ChemDry's hot carbonation and quick dry times will leave your homes healthy and ready to combat the cold and flu season. We're a company that you can trust. Call ChemDry of Northern Utah.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
Do you have a broken appliance? Save money and repair your appliance with Daryl's today. Maybe you'll decide you need to purchase new. If so, you can apply up to $95 of your service call toward an appliance purchase. We reduce the risk when you choose Daryl's. It's a unique deal only we can offer you. See our store for details. Daryl's Appliance Service and Sales, west on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturdays.
KVNU Game Day returns with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, Eric Frenson, and Ryan Bowen.
And it's Zach Van Leeuwen, the former Aggie receiver, in for us tonight. Ryan will be back on Friday when the Aggies play Boise State, and our post-game after that game. And, I watched Boise State this year, and they're good on defense. I don't know if they're devastating on offense. The one thing is they eventually did run the ball a couple times today. And the big quarterback can kind of make some plays. He's got an arm a little bit, but they haven't been great offensively this year, Boise State.
They have not been dominating teams, no. They're winning games. Give them credit. They're finding ways to win, but they're not blowing teams away and dominating like we've seen Boise State in the past.
So we've beaten San Jose 10 times in a row. Zach, you were there when we finally beat Boise State. Other than that, it's a long dry spell before that, and it's been a long dry spell since then.
8 turnovers?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they always say, when we were playing, they always said the road to the title goes through Boise, so that's always true, and they're still doing that. Even though they're not the dominant Boise State that we know, they're still finding ways to win. So I think that speaks bounds to the program and tradition that they've developed.
They're 7-0 in conference plays the games they played this year, and
with today's win,
and they beat both San Diego State and Fresno State too.
Yeah, so with today's win, they will host.
Yeah,
regardless of whatever else happens this next week, they will host the conference title game,
which should be against Fresno State, correct?
More than likely. Now Fresno's got Wyoming at home. I don't know who San Diego State plays for sure. And I know UNLV's playing Nevada, and we're playing Boise. I think almost everybody's playing on Friday. I think most of the conference games this next week are on Friday, too, the day after Thanksgiving, I think, for most of the teams. You guys can look that up while we get to S.C. Needham Jewelers, again, the state's oldest jewelry store, where Utah gets engaged, bringing you the Coach postgame. Again, they mentioned to Coach Blake Anderson, the Aggies actually have a record now. Doug Hoffman looked it up, and he just mentioned it to the coach before the coach starts here, that we are 13-0 if we get to the fourth quarter with a lead in the last little stretch of Aggie football. So that's a pretty good run, and we did have that lead in the fourth quarter, although it went away, but we got it done.
Obviously just super proud, excited to be bowl eligible. I know we talked about that a lot over the last few weeks and just how much that means to this group and just how hard that is to go from 1-4 to 6-5 with the ability, opportunity to be 7-5 maybe next week. So senior night, you always want your seniors to have a night that they'll remember in a good way, definitely not something that's going to linger. And this is one of those that they'll enjoy. We did not play perfectly. We turned the ball over way too much. But I thought from beginning to end, just the energy level and physical nature of play and really our just the sideline, it was an awesome night for us and did enough to win it. Having come back down there and score was huge, and then to get the stop. So a lot of positives against a really good football team. In my opinion, they're built really well, and so that's a quality win. And it came at a time we absolutely had to have it. So I'm really, really proud, very proud. This senior class, there's 6 guys in this class that were here before I took the job that could have left and didn't. They chose to stay and buy into what we're doing and helped us win a championship last year. And this, I know it doesn't look the same, but what we just did to go from 1-4 to 6-5 and bowl eligible is something I think is extremely hard to do and very special. It's just as big of an accomplishment. And the guys that chose us and came in to spend time with us that came from other places, I feel the same way about them as well. So really, really proud of this group and glad we got a win for them. What questions do you have?
Does this performance from Calvin say to you about him and his toughness, where it seems like he was not 100%, he's still going in again?
Yeah, he's been beat up for a while, and it just he just keeps showing up. Yeah, I know he has a passion to play at the next level. He wants to show that he has that ability, and part of that is showing that you can play through bumps and bruises, and that you're gonna, availability is a big skill set they want to see. Availability, dependability. I know he'd love to have the one fumble back, but if you look at the body of work over the last month, he's shown up. He's shown up in big ways. The O-line's doing a great job of clearing people out of the way. We've gotten better. Not a finished product, but man, we've gotten better each week. And Calvin got it in the end zone. We had to tonight. That last touchdown was. We don't want to kick a field goal and be in a tie game. So to get the touchdown was huge.
Coach Anderson, obviously the defense had some ups and downs tonight, but one thing they've done well this season is not give up points following turnovers. Doug shared a pretty crazy statistic.
Yeah. What's that stat? I'm just curious.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Like 19 turnovers in 9 games, and you're giving up like 50.
Yeah, crazy.
Like that.
Yeah.
How big of a deal was it to continue that trend tonight?
Well, that's huge. I talk about that a lot with them. Like, guys, the way we play offense and some of the calculated risks we're going to take on fourth down, some of the calculated risks we're going to take with fake punts and some of the stuff that's potentially going to happen. There's going to be times you're going to be backed up. There's going to be times it's going to be quick turn events, and we need you to hold them to field goals. And they've done a phenomenal job of that all year. And again tonight, turned the ball over way too much. Should not have won the game. I mean, now clearly we did a couple big things, but their ability to go out and rally in those situations and either force them to punt or force them to kick a field goal is huge. So I hadn't heard the stat, but I knew it's something we've done really well all year.
Coach, how pleased are you just with that final offensive drive? Obviously, it seemed like San Jose had kind of got some of the momentum and then just couldn't down the field.
Yeah, I was frustrated second half. You were a little nervous, man. You knew that their offense could get on track at any point, and they did do some really good things. The main thing they did well tonight was just the vertical ball on the outside, really long, big wideouts, and I thought Cordero put the ball right where he had to. But I was proud of our guys. They didn't get panicky. We just kept playing, and when we had to have a drive, we put one together. The catch the throwing catch that we got to Cobb, the explosive, was a little bit of a panic moment, to be honest with you. It was bottled up, and the next thing, the ball comes out end over end, and he goes up and elevates. So that was probably one of the key plays. But to finish it on the ground down there and to be able to run the ball in from the 4 or 5 yard line against that front, that's huge. And I think says a lot about our kids' resiliency, because it did go back and forth, and we did give up the lead. And the sideline didn't change. Everybody did a great job of rallying and finishing up.
So can you tell us a little bit about the sideline after that touchdown where you guys went down? Like, what were those conversations like as you prepared to go on that final drive there?
My conversation with, I think we're about 5:40 on the clock or so. We've got timeouts to use. Don't want to be careless, but tell Coach Tuck, you're 4th and 2 or less, we're going. Anything else, we'll punt and play defense. Don't make me put the punt team out there, And I thought we did a good job. It wasn't explosive play, but it was methodical, bang it away, 5-6 yards, and then you get the big throw over the top, which was a great play by both Coop and Brian, not to give up on the play, because it wasn't just there. It was bottled up, and luckily he was able to get that thing out, and we elevated and played above the rim. I think that was a spark, because it looked, from there on, I think we kind of broke their will a little bit. You can see us starting to kind of take over. Guys executed when we had to. It's not something we've been able to do all year long, but we did today.
Coach Anderson, just how big of an emotional and just athletic, gifted standpoint boost did you get with the return of Ajana Carter tonight?
Yeah, his length against those wideouts, a couple massive plays. Now, again, it wasn't perfect for him either. That's a lot. He fought through some discomfort. I don't know if you could tell he was limping most of the night. That just tells you he loves to play, wants to play. Needed him tonight, and he made big plays. I'll be honest with you, another guy that stepped up and made big plays for us that has not played a lot of snaps is Xavion Steele. Played a lot of snaps at corner and played some at nickel in sub packages, and he's a guy that I thought did a phenomenal job. None of them perfect, but against a really good offense with great skill guys, stepped up and made plays when we had to have them. And that's two guys that either one that hadn't played in months and another one that hasn't played a lot of snaps all year and came up big for us.
So you guys got a lot of sacks today. Like, how big was that for you guys, especially since you struggled a bit when they threw the ball, but you're able to bring down the quarterback a lot?
Well, that quarterback especially. And it was hard to get him on the ground. There were several other opportunities. Byron will tell you he missed him several times, dislocated his finger trying to get him on the ground one time and went back out. That particular quarterback is probably the most dynamic runner in the league. We knew that. And he can make all the throws, and he's got all the weapons. But we were really, really concerned about him splitting us, and next thing you know, he's in the end zone. I thought we did a great job. It wasn't – it was muddy at times. You're holding your breath at times, but – we made it difficult for him. I don't know what he had for the day. 42 yards, but 27 lost yards too. So I would say, goal was accomplished to frustrate him, make him pull the ball down, and keep him in the pocket for most of the day. Yep. Well, you'd have to know Jaden to understand just how big that was. Huge. We felt like we had a legitimate chance to get there. On film, they had lived very dangerously in the last few weeks. San Diego State was really close. Fresno was really close. And kind of hoping on the cold weather, slowing them down just a hair. We went after several, and when we needed it most, we got it. If you think about it, everyone we blocked up at this point, it's either been a touchback or they've fallen right on it. But to get the touchdown, you look at the game, that's a huge momentum swing, and it lifted everybody.
You ever had a punt blocker as prolific as Ike this early in his
It's funny. I've been running the punt block team for a lot of years, and it's unique. You find a guy that just has that knack, that's not afraid of being in that environment, and I mean, you gotta trust that your technique's going to get you there without hitting the punter. You can't give up 15-yard penalties and give them the ball. And as you can see how the game finished, them roughing us. But he just has that knack. And there's a couple other guys that do as well. But I've had guys that once you find that they're comfortable in that environment, you got to try to utilize them. And we found a way to get him clean again tonight. Although I'm not sure if he got it. There were several guys back there. Nobody really knows who touched it. He'll take credit for it, obviously, but huge play.
It did look like it was on his fingers, again, when you watch the replay. And like we said, Royal was there close as well on that play. But, and again, it's just ironic when this week in the press conference, I had him on game day, pregame, a week ago before Hawaii. And I wanted to ask him about, okay, you've already blocked a couple of punts. Do you have a tough time doing it again? And when I asked him this week, he said, yes, I do. Everybody, and they were able to still find a spot for Ike Larson to get in there and make that play tonight. Incidentally, UNLV will not be bowl eligible. Hawaii just won the game against UNLV, too.
Wow. And Fresno State won their game, so they clinched the West Division.
They're 6-1, and they've beaten San Diego State in the head-to-head. So no matter what happens.
So no matter what, it's going to be Boise State hosting Fresno State for the conference championship game.
And they played a game earlier in the year. Boise won, as I recall, it was a low-scoring game, it seemed like, because I remember off the top of my head that they played, but they did win a game. So.
Which we've seen, I think there's been several Boise State, Fresno State conference championships. Usually hosted in Boise, too.
Yes, I think the teams that have been in the championship game the most overall are those two teams in conference play. I remember the first year we were in the league, we played Fresno State for the championship. The first year we were in the league.
That was Trav's senior season. That was a chilly game out in Fresno.
Yeah, it was.
Derek Carr and
not as cold as this one, though.
Yeah.
But it was still chilly.
Not as cold as this one. That was a good Fresno State team.
That was. And the Aggie team that year, of course, we'd had to go to Darryl Garrettson at quarterback. And we eventually went down and beat the number 22 team in the nation with the guy who finished third in the Heisman Trophy, the guy from Northern Illinois in the San Diego game.
That was a great bowl game too.
So Boise beat Fresno earlier in the year 40-20.
Oh, I thought it was like 17-13 or something, but it ended up being 40-20.
Yeah, 40-20.
Okay, so they did. That was one of their higher scoring games of the year.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be a better game with. What's Hayner at quarterback?
Yeah,
they're
true.
a lot more prolific on offense with him back.
Little bit more back into it for sure. Golden Spike Electric is one of our game day sponsors. 257-3016 again for their electrical work and Generac generators, and by Jerrick's Fine Jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jerrick's. Again, one of our game day sponsors. So, I think the coach hit on a lot of the things that we have already talked about and everything. He kind of restated and all, but you could just tell that this meant a lot to him to get these particular guys, who some of them were not his guys and some could whatever, and he's brought in one or two that have really helped to get them to bowl eligibility. He says maybe the accomplishment is almost as much to him as what they did last year to win the regular season and get to the championship game.
Yeah, I mean, you start out with the record that you had at 1-4. It's difficult to win football games, and to be in a position that they're in now to be bowl eligible is a major accomplishment. To be 5-1 in your last 6 games. So
the way it looked earlier, it just didn't have the feel.
Completely different team.
Didn't have the feel.
Jason Walker was talking with me earlier this week when we were on the Full Court Press that there's been only a handful of times in USU football history that they started out 1-4 and then flipped that to get to be bowl eligible or get to 6 wins. And one of the few times that they actually got to a bowl game because of that was 1993. And they finished off and had a really strong closeout to the end of the regular season and ended up going bowling that year, won their bowl game.
In Las Vegas, beat Ball State.
So, yeah, it's been a little bit since that's happened before. But
there was a little
Aggies
bit of
have done it.
Remember
before.
the Hawaii win with Adam Kennedy that year hadn't started that great, and all of a sudden that turned around to where we started to have that. And again, this can. with 10 seniors, that means there's a lot of guys playing who will be back next year, and this has got to help them towards the future of where they're going to be in this program for sure as well.
Absolutely.
So
that's promising.
Okay, we got players to get to, and I'm sure there may be some more things in the text line. 339-0321 is our phone number. On the text line, we will return with more of Game Day after the Aggies win 35-31 over San Jose. That's 10 in a row. We still have not lost to San Jose since they've been in the Mountain West Conference.
Are you a small business owner? Who's your bank? This is Bruce Rigby. I want to invite you to bank with us at Cache Valley Bank. We specialize in helping small business, and we have great people. That's the Cache Valley Bank difference. Decisions made locally, without all the red tape, by people who care and know how to help small business. Cache Valley Bank, growing, expanding, and proud to have our roots firmly planted in Cache Valley. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
The Young Automotive Group is proud to announce Young Truck and Trailer Center in Cache Valley. Whether it's heavy equipment trailers, horse trailers, race car trailers, or cargo and utility trailers, we're excited to offer some of the finest trailers and flatbed work trucks to Cache Valley. Our team of experts look forward to helping you find the right truck or trailer to fit your needs, with competitive prices offered on every make and model for sale on our lot. With our extensive inventory, you'll find the best deals right here in Cache Valley. Young Truck and Trailer Center, just off Highway 89 in Logan. Think young, drive young.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Thermo Fisher on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Get Eric Frandsen afternoons with Jason Walker over on the Full Court Press on The Fan, 4 to 6 afternoons for you, our local sports talk show on the, again, our sports talk station in the building here. And Al Lewis here and Zach Van Leeuwen, who played for the Aggies again. Remind people the years you played, Zach.
Redshirted 2014, played 15, 16, 17.
Okay, those 3 years. And again, before that, brother Travis, brother now, and again, still doing okay getting back from his injury?
Yeah, he's walking around fine, lots of physical therapy, so getting strength back. I'm not sure the exact timeline of when he'll be back. I imagine May, June.
Okay, probably will miss spring for the most part, at least most of the stuff there.
Yeah, for spring, but he'll.
But Kyle wants to continue to be a part of this team and play and get back to be another receiver because he was starting to have some plays right at the time.
I know, as long as everything heals correctly, I imagine he'll be another impact player.
I know we've got some texts. I had this stat on the pregame. Utah State was 129th in the nation in red zone offense this year. There's only 131 teams. San Jose was the number 8 defensive red zone team in the country coming into this game. The Aggies tonight were 4 for 4 touchdowns, all of them in the red zone.
That's huge.
It's crazy.
How about that? That's big. And then San Jose's only had 4 turnovers all year long offensively. That is, and they're plus 13 now in the turnovers with what happened tonight, and they're still only 6 and 5.
Wow.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, Aggies gave them a lot of opportunities. They could have had a few more, too. I mean, they had a couple in their secondary that had opportunities to pick off passes and couldn't hang on to.
The stats are something like we have had 15 turnovers and we got like 19 points out of them.
That's huge.
I think, or something like that for the year up until now. Okay, the text, and then we'll go to the players.
Yeah, a couple texts coming through, 1326. Saying we played too conservative before the half. This is the second game in recent memory that we have not tried for points with time and timeouts. Also, we continue to struggle with personal fouls.
It's our tight ends lately that seem to be fired up and getting more involved in the game, and now they're getting involved in those too.
4 penalties tonight of the 15-yard variety. But yeah, against Hawaii, there was time and 3 timeouts and a time to get at least maybe a field goal on the board. And they went super conservative, let the clock expire. Not necessarily the same scenario today. There's only one timeout that they had. But, again, another opportunity to maybe get downfield and try to get some more points. And after one run play that didn't get very many yards, it's almost like, we'll just run out the clock and go into the halftime. Because they knew, in both situations, they knew they were going to get the ball to start the second half. Mm-hmm. But in both situations, it didn't yield any points. So I get the frustration there from 1326 that when you have an opportunity to try to get points on the board, why not take advantage? Yeah. And it seemed like 2 games they didn't, and they had that opportunity.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen them be a little bit more aggressive there with those 59 seconds in the second quarter, especially where San Jose showed the aggressiveness and went down and scored right away. You would have think you would have tried to match that.
They'd scored in 24 seconds after
4
we
plays.
got the punt return.
I didn't agree a lot with the defensive play calls there. I would have been more keep the ball in front of you, more quarters zone coverage, but.
And then we come out of the locker room after that, and we think, okay, we're going to get the ball. And against Hawaii, it was a 3-and-out. Tonight, we actually got a first down, and then Tyler pummeled the ball. That was the one time the ball went down the field, and they recovered. Was that time?
Yeah, it's risky. 5338, relieved to get the win tonight. What was the number 6 on the helmets for?
Okay.
Also, 6 wins for bowl eligibility. Yes. Penalties continue to be a huge lingering issue. 100 yards tonight. And what's with Brock Lane? McGriff makes me laugh. He can catch a short touchdown pass, but the rest of the time the ball hits him right in the numbers, and he's clueless.
He did have one that hit him really in the numbers tonight. But San Jose, in fairness on defense, had 2 interceptions they could have had that were right in their numbers, and they dropped it too. Camden McWright, he was a running back freshman for them. They were supposed to play New Mexico State about 5 weeks ago on the season, and it was the Friday morning. They were going to leave that day for the game. He's on a scooter right by the San Jose campus, and a school bus hit him. Didn't see him, or he didn't something. He was going across the crosswalk, and the bus didn't see him, and he passed away. The Aggies did that for them. They were wearing the CM6 on theirs, and they've been wearing that. The Aggies had the 6 on the side in honor of that. Hey, Coach Anderson's felt so much love from other teams about his son's situation and about the mental health things. Mm-hmm. He just was trying to pay that back a little bit to San Jose.
Also, nice gesture. They laid a little bouquet of flowers on the 6-yard line earlier in the game.
Right before the game, yeah.
Those are nice.
So that's the reason that was all there. We taking care of the text then?
Just one more we'll get to, because I know we want to hear from the players. 5180. What's the deal with all the penalties? It's like our secondary has just decided it's better to give up the PI rather than the yards. And the personal fouls seems we're a bit undisciplined maybe.
Well, now tonight, maybe some of those PIs weren't bad ideas because it looked like they were going to score easy touchdowns on some of those plays. And it's 15 yards in college football, not point at the
at times, defensive backs, when you do get beat like that, it's better to have a PI penalty than a touchdown. Some of the plays I felt like the DBs could have turned or made a play on the ball, but it's better to be safe than sorry. That's why they do the PI penalty, just to save a touchdown.
But we do seem to we seem to get penalties on kicking plays. It seems like a lot this year. It's happened on kickoffs or something. All of a sudden they come back from a timeout and they're 15 yards further than you think they were supposed to, or something's happened.
Now, one of those San Jose player totally flopped.
And in basketball, that would have been a technical foul.
Yes.
This year.
A new rule that I do want to see in place is the fake the injury to slow down the tempo. They should be able to look at the replay.
The number
and then
6 guy went down
throw
on that
a penalty
and
after.
sat there
it
for a while.
Several times in this game.
And he was back within about 1 or 2 plays after that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but there's a few more texts coming through, but we'll get to the players.
Hale Motuapawaka with 2 sacks. That is a career high for him. And again, they're asking questions. Hopefully we can pick up the questions.
No, we had 2 sacks against UNLV earlier this year.
And a Cordero too last year. Yeah.
So I guess just first off, how big was it for you guys to be able to get after the quarterback in this game, given how good he is at throwing the ball?
Yeah, it was very important for us to get after him. Like Coach A said, he is a very dynamic quarterback, the most dynamic runner and dual-threat quarterback we have in the league. So yeah, we knew watching film and just following San Jose throughout the season that, man, this guy's real deal. And in order for us to win, we really need to stop him and slow him down. So I think that our defense did a pretty good job at that this night.
What was the message heading into that last drive that you guys got off the field in 4 plays?
It's just about how bad did you want it, you know. Coach Banda and all the defensive coaches, they always do a good job of motivating us and, you know, juicing us up. They always tell us to bring the juice. So we knew how bad we wanted it, and we knew how important that drive was. And we have a lot of great players on our defense, so I'm happy that a lot of them got to make plays and help us win this game.
Holly, just how much pride do you guys take in just limiting the damage when you're put in tough situations on some turnovers?
Yeah, so I'm very, very proud of our defense. Our coaches and our players do a great job. Our coaches always tell us to put out the fire when there's a fire there. So that's like a motivation. We like the adversity, and we like playing. It doesn't matter what happens or where the ball may be set. We're just going to give it our all and try our best to put out the fire.
Your group's been banged up this whole season, and just how big was it to see Tavion and Bo gets his first career sack tonight? Just how big is it to see them stepping up?
It's amazing. I'm really proud of them. They've been doing a great job. Unfortunately, we lost, two very important defensive tackles very early in the season. But with that happening, it gave those boys, Tavion was always going to play, but Bo Miley especially, a chance to get more reps in practice and in games. So I know that now it's like another game to him. He's very confident, and one thing about Bo is you guys got to watch out for him in a few years. That boy is strong. So yeah, he's a great player.
Ollie, how satisfying is it to you for y'all to be able to flip the record around and be bowl eligible today?
It's an amazing feeling. I know all of us boys and coaches were just so happy. It just shows our resiliency. A lot of people, when you're 1-4 and might not be doing too well, losing to Weber the way we did, people might drop the gloves. But I know that one thing we did great as a team, coaches and players alike, is we never gave up, and we were confident in what we were capable of doing, and we just worked hard, put our head down, and now we're here.
What's it mean to you guys to send this senior class off like this?
It means everything. Our seniors on our team this year are great leaders for us. They're game changers, and to be able to send them off like this and get another game to play with these guys it's an amazing feeling. We're definitely going to miss them next year. So we all love them, and we appreciate everything they do for us. So we're just happy that we get to play one more time with them.
What was it this week in the press conference? Somebody mentioned about Senior Day, and they threw Holly's name in there, and the coach says, "Hold it. Let's not forget. He's not leaving yet. He's got one more year he can play for us. He's really a terrific guy to have in the program. Is Holly Motuapuaka."
Oh, yeah, great personality. He makes a presence. His presence felt early on and often on that defensive front. And I love hearing him talk about some of these younger guys who've had to be thrown into important positions, important roles.
I think Bo Miley's an in-state kid, isn't he?
Growing up into that.
So.
I think he is an in-state guy.
I think he went to Bingham, I believe.
I think, yeah. So that's really neat to hear about him and in the future and all. And Holly, one more year to go, stuff. So.
Keeping track of these COVID years and who has eligibility is a little tricky.
It's crazy. Kyle should be graduated, but he's going to be a red shirt sophomore next year with COVID, medical red shirts.
Isn't that amazing how it goes? And, I was talking to Alfred Edwards before the game, and I said, I wonder if anybody can ever play as many games as you played, because he's been here the 6 years and really got into it.
I played with Alfred my last year.
Yeah, and so here's... But we figured it out. Dimitri Aliafua has probably played the most games, and I don't know if anybody will beat that record because of the COVID and the way it all worked out with redshirting and for him and all. And I think now Alfred has a chance. Now, if we play the 2 more games, he might tie Tyler Larson's record for the most starts that a player ever had at Utah State or something like that. So
that seems like Alfred Edwards has been here forever.
Alfred and Andre Grayson was also there last year.
And I think Connor Coles has been around about as
he was also there.
I think they're actually and Chandler Dolphin I think was maybe in the program or close.
He had just started when I was about done.
Yep. So I think there was those guys. There are 4 of them of the senior group that were 6-year guys, and then Jacob South was 5. So he almost maybe could have stayed one more year, but I think he's decided to move on with his football. He did get back tonight after he'd been out with a concussion, and then the 3-year guys were McGriff was the only 3-year. Bonner, Reynolds, and Tyler, 2 years. And, where would we be without those guys? That would be big. And then Cobb's a one-year guy for the graduation now. So that was where that's at.
Yeah, I mean, great leaders, as Hale said, try to think about where this team would be without them. And I thought it was interesting, too, hearing from Coach Anderson talking about those seniors that, there were 6 of them who had an opportunity to leave when there was that coaching change, but they decided to stick it out and be part of a program and make a shift. And they've got a championship under their belt and another opportunity to go bowling.
Should mention, too, Oregon did win that game against Utah. I don't think we mentioned 20-17. So Oregon probably in the Pac-12 championship game. I mean, does it make any difference if they lose to Oregon State next week? I wonder.
I don't know.
Because they're all kind of, everybody's kind of beating up everybody in that league, and I don't know how that would work out. And then you've got Weber State won today, so they were 9-2. And they only lost one conference game. And I think, and then BYU in the second half after 28-20 against Utah Tech at the half, they won 56-28 was the final score in those games. So that was the in-state stuff going on. I believe we got Calvin Tyler now after the game. Let's see if the press are asking him some questions.
That's just not a typical defensive front.
Most definitely. First thing, I got to thank the good Lord, but I want to do something different right now. Not to, skip your question, but, man, I want to thank my teammates for sure. And guys like John Gentry, who haven't played a snap at running back this year. And, he been the most supportive teammate this year. He don't understand, and it probably go over his head, but, he did everything. He been doing everything he can at practice, working his butt off, and also motivating me and having the same energy every day, on and off the field. So I'm so thankful for guys like him. Jordan Wilmore, same thing. Them guys, motivate me. So it felt good, seeing him in there today, Jordan, running the ball hard, getting some positive gains, and also being there to motivate me. Never knowing when his number going to be called. So I just want to thank my teammates right now for everything, for sticking with me and keeping my head lifted up. So, but yeah, this win felt great, especially going against a team like that where you hear all week about they D front being one of the best in the league, and them guys still proved that. But we was able to be successful running the ball, also throwing the ball. So it felt great getting the dub today. And a win in this conference is hard, so I'm thankful for every win we get.
Calvin, that game-winning drive for you guys, obviously they had shifted a lot of momentum, and then you guys just cruised down the field. What was the thought process with that?
No pressure. Same thing like last year at Washington State. It's no pressure. We've been in these moments. We practice these moments, and all we gotta do is go out there and execute and play football like we know how. So, and that's what we did. We no pressure, but we pushed the urgency. So it felt great doing that. And like I said, the coaches never give up on us. This team will never give up on each other. So we're gonna keep working and getting better.
Do you think this team is better today than your record says you are?
Most definitely. We always feel like that. Fortunately, things happen. Don't go our way. We make mistakes, and you live and learn. Most definitely. That's just life, period. So most definitely, I feel like this team showed the type of team we are. We got the grit. No, all fight, no quitting us.
What's it mean to you to get another game with these guys, to get a bowl game with these guys?
It feels great. Like I said, I'm thankful for my teammates, and I love each and every one of these guys. And being able to go bowling with these guys, letting some of these seniors experience that once again, man, it feels great. So I can't thank nothing but the good Lord above.
I've got to ask you, it's had to have been one of your more gratifying games. You mentioned Washington State, former rivals at Oregon State, then you played really well in the bowl game against your former team. So where does this game personally rank among the most gratifying for you?
So I'm the type of person live in the moment. So this game happened today, and this is my favorite game right now during this season. So I feel great. Like I said, I'm happy we got the dub. Thankful. This number one game on my list now. Yes, sir.
Coach Anderson said that you've been dinged up from excuses and things like that. Was there anything that would have kept you off the field?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Grit. It's all grit, and like I said, these coaches, man, these guys pushed me, my teammates. So it was no quitting me. Most definitely, I knew my number was gonna be called, and I was gonna keep 2 hands on the ball. Most definitely, just finish this game like we did. So like I said, I'm thankful.
Calvin, you said you like to live in the moment, but
yes, sir.
could you take a second, you still got games left too, but can you take a second to reflect on these 2 years as an Aggie and maybe just playing at Maverick Stadium, just what it's meant for you?
This meant a lot. Honestly, Utah State changed my life in a big way. Like I said, I was on the couch. I left Oregon State and I was on the couch for like 3-4 months, not knowing where I was gonna go, and getting that call from Coach Keaton saying they want me here. That changed my life, and I'm so thankful for this team, this staff, for believing in me, trusting in me, and I'm grateful, most definitely. I got to thank the good Lord above for like helping me realize like how much I love football, because my passion for football kind of left, but being able to come here, get in front of the herd, the math, man, it feels great. This program definitely changed my life. This is probably one of the best things that ever happened to me in college.
That's the last things that Calvin Tyler talked to the media about tonight. Chucky Keaton connection with him, Oregon State. Brent Brennan, some of these coaches at San Jose had been at Oregon State before. The Oregon State thing kind of motivated him maybe a little bit more into this one tonight as well to win against San Jose. He liked doing well against a defensive front. They had, Zach, they have 11 starters back on their defense. They won the conference championship in 2020, San Jose did. Mm-hmm. So the last 2 conference champions were facing each other tonight in this game. Yeah. And we saw a game that kind of showed we've got 2 pretty competitive programs going head-to-head in this one tonight. It was an entertaining game.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining game.
Fortunately, because it was cold, right? So at least it was fun to watch in the cold.
Yeah, I can't imagine playing again. I remember I had several games that were that cold, but taking hits like that. So I'm sure everyone's going to be a little sore tomorrow, but it was an entertaining game to watch. I'm a lot warmer now, so
I've got
appreciate the heater.
Yeah, I got the heater. And Eric, we watched the game, and many times I mentioned there was as hard of hits on Tyler by San Jose tonight as I have seen, and he got up and kept ticking for the most part, like they used to say in the old Timex commercial.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, give him credit
because he just was coming back from a concussion. Remember, against Hawaii.
Yeah, that's true. And he was, as Coach Anderson said, he's been dinged up, but he just. It's interesting to hear him say it. There was nothing that was going to keep him from the field, and especially not really knowing that that there's not a really experienced running back. If you need a break,
Robert Briggs was not available.
Was out. He's not available. Wilmore has had limited touches. John Gentry really hasn't had any touches.
I think he was kind of hurt a lot going into the year where they never even considered him.
All on his shoulders, and he carried it, and he did a great job today just staying in there. Yeah, he did have the one fumble, but what a great performance by Calvin Tyler Jr. tonight.
And Wilmore did carry it 3 times for 12 yards in there with him. Laga had 36 yards out of rushing tonight with his 244 passing in the game. And Cordero ended up with the 257 passing, and he had only 15 rushing yards in 16 attempts. It seemed like he had some really neat runs and all, but eventually the sacks, of
course. He avoided a lot of sacks,
he
which
did
made
avoid
it seem like he had a lot of rushing yards.
He did avoid a lot
but
of sacks.
But on a lot of those, he was running around a lot, but he only moved
got
a yard ahead
of
1 or 2 yards. The line of scrimmage.
You're right.
Yep.
Okay, the postgame with the players' comments brought to you by My Mattress. They have IntelliBed, Tempur-Pedic, great beds, and also LSS Insurance, of course, with all of your insurance needs, especially right now with the open enrollment season to change Medicare plans or to get into your own insurance through the insurance exchange if you want to look for something different there if your company isn't employing you. Have we got anything else in the text line then?
Yeah, a couple more
for Zach.
Penalties.
We've got a couple. Well, it's just like we're used to seeing so many of them. We're going to start calling text penalties. Okay.
Let's see. This was from 6740 on that San Jose State catch that we were talking about. I think they can't combine 2 camera angles like they do in the NFL. If they did, they would see he didn't have possession and control with a foot down. Also,
the other thing, though, the NFL's got so many angles.
Well, they've got cameras all over.
Fox has got they don't have as many. Fox Sports. I did a commentary on it on pregame. Bad. Their coverage isn't good, and to say they're going to start a game at 7:45 when the other game's scheduled at 5, there's no way you're going to have that game on. Fortunately, that other game got faster done than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to go well into maybe the second quarter, and they were into the Aggie game by it was already 6-0
Yeah.
But just not too much longer
That
after
opening
that.
drive,
Yeah,
pretty much.
But then they put the game back to 8 o'clock to start, too, instead of 7:45. You know, I don't know if you got to be smarter than that. So.
One more from 6740. It says, USU started with 1 win, lost 5 in a row in 1993, beat BYU 58-56, and ended up getting 6 in a row, finishing the Las Vegas Bowl 7-5.
That's right.
This year starting 1-4 with a terrible blowout loss to an FCS team. Blowout loss to a bad UNLV team makes getting bowl eligible an unbelievable accomplishment.
Yep.
Yes. The UNLV... Just the way they started and how they finished, complete opposite of the USU story.
They have now lost 6 consecutive games. UNLV has. Nevada's lost 9 in a row. New Mexico's lost 8 in a row. UNLV's lost 6 in a row, and Fresno's won 6 in a row. That's the longest streak in the conference right now. 6 in a row for Fresno State.
Wow. 9315. Eric loved crow pie. Yeah, I said I was. Jason and I gave our score predictions the other day, and both of us predicted San Jose State, and we both said that we love the taste of eating crow, and we will have to do that on Monday for sure. Okay. And then one more on 4151. What do we need to do to beat Boise? Would love to win on the Smurf turf.
Well, the way you guys did it before when you were here,
turnover.
You have to take the ball away from them. You have to. The Aggies got huge plays in that game when they did make plays.
Yeah.
They went for it. It was an aggressive deal. Then in the second half, it kind of mellowed out a little bit more, and Boise got a few things. And 56-28, I think it turned out, where we had like 40-something to 7 at half or something like that. So I remember
winning the line of scrimmage, which Boise usually does against us. They usually shut down our run, and they usually run all over us.
Boise is about the number 13 or 15 rushing defensive team in the nation. I think they were number 3 earlier. They moved back a little. Wyoming ran the ball pretty well on them tonight. That was all Wyoming could do. They couldn't throw the ball, and they threw an interception in the end zone at the end to even have a chance to kick a field goal and make it go to overtime. So, the Aggies have had a tough time running the ball against them. So let's see what Calvin Kyler can do there. He'll be trying to get to 1,000 in the game next week, and you got to do that. And maybe we do a little bit more of this underneath passing things that could open up something to a hitch and go or something like that with some of that too.
I'm always optimistic with Cooper because he extends plays, so I think there's always a possibility. I was trying to look at the numbers, but I think with Cooper as a starter this year, I think we've had more offensive output.
Yeah,
so
5-1, and we've had a more balanced offensive output too.
Yeah, it's true.
And again, the big deal is if you. Boise wants to make you one-dimensional, and so if we can keep some of both sides going, then we'll be in pretty good shape.
There was one more text that I missed from 4151. What can be done to limit penalties? How do you teach that?
What do coaches do? Really?
It all comes down to discipline. I think some of them tonight were discipline calls, like the extra shove, the first one that Lane had on the opposing sideline. It did seem like a lot of the San Jose players were surrounding him, so that can get frustrating at times. But I think that's really all it is the discipline stuff. So.
And I've seen practices when I get up there to interview, when I do, the coach has got guys doing runs or curls or doing, I'm sure
rolling
that's
around on the
field. Yeah, I'm sure that's some of that. Yeah. We are getting towards the top of the hour, so we do need to make way for things here. Anything more from you, Zach? It's good to always have you, and good luck to you. Your receiving business still going okay? Your counseling stuff still doing okay?
Yeah, it's all very.
You're staying busy?
Yeah, very busy. So it's a lot of fun.
Appreciate you very, very much for adding things. And we'll have you on as often as we can. Okay.
Thank you.
And Eric, thank you very much. And you guys will be talking about it on Monday, right?
Yeah, it's always great to talk about a win, even though you predict a loss.
Okay. Well. You're in a lot better position, than you said we're going to guarantee a victory and then we lose or something. You know what I mean?
That's true. I'd rather be on that side.
Okay, so quickly again, the Aggies. We told you the yardage: 430 to 341. 10 of 17 on third downs. As the Aggies had 25 third down conversions in this first down conversions, and San Jose had 17. And we mentioned the 84 rushing, 186 for us, so that's very good against the San Jose team that was supposed to be. Again, very good. And we told you about the individual stuff. And on the defensive side, incidentally, tonight, Max Alford had 7 tackles. Grishik had 6. Vaughns had 6. Von Pachong had 6. Motua Pawaka had 5 tackles. Hunter Reynolds had 5 tackles. So, again, they did it as a team defensively tonight. And, again, Tyler did rush for 125 yards, 3 scores. The other touchdown, McGriff on a touchdown, 10 catches for Cobbs, 122 yards. So that is your final stats for Cache Valley Bank on the Aggies side as well. Thank you, Jason Walker, for getting the interviews from up at the stadium back to us so we can pass them along from the coach and the players. We appreciate the listeners who listen in, and here's your local station where you can hear what's going on with the Aggies before and after every game very easily. You don't have to go find an app, or you don't have to try to listen through Scratch or whatever. And appreciate, of course, our sponsors who make it all possible tonight, like Cache Valley Bank and all the rest. So for Eric Franson and for Zach Van Leeuwen, Aggies win at 35-31. Boise on Friday next week. We'll see you then.
In the vast